Shocking truth revealed. Why my mother-in-law gave iPhone 16 Pro Max to all but one grandchild. Amanda stood frozen in the living room, her heart hammering against her ribs, a weighty silence encasing her like a thick fog. The cheerful chirping of neighborhood kids outside couldn't break through the shocking news she had just heard. Her mother-in-law, known for her grand, lavish gatherings and warm smile, had gifted shiny new iPhone 16 Pro Max devices to all her grandchildren. Except for Ethan. The whispers of favoritism among the neighbors crept into her ears, each murmur a dagger, twisting deeper into her confusion and anger. What did Ethan do to deserve this? As the days passed, her heart ached for her precious boy. Ethan, with his big, bright eyes filled with innocence and love, deserved the same joy and excitement his cousins felt. Why was he left out? This was not just a phone. It was a painful reminder that love could be measured in material things. Finally, desperate to understand her mother-in-law's reasoning, Amanda dug deeper. What she uncovered was shocking, a simmering resentment that had festered beneath their supposedly strong familial bond. It turning out that her mother-in-law had harbored negative feelings toward Amanda's humble beginnings. As Amanda pieced this painful narrative together, tears burned her eyes. All those years of hard work, the late nights spent building her small business, the sacrifices she made to raise Ethan as a single mother didn't seem to carry any weight in her mother-in-law's eyes. The tension spiraled, emotions flaring as Amanda decided to organize a family meeting. She longed for healing, for unity. Instead, the gathering turned chaotic. Old grudges spilled over, words flung like sharp stones, insecurities laid bare. All she could feel was her heart shattering as her mother-in-law's face twisted in hurt. Amanda realized it wasn't just about Ethan. It was about deeper issues tied in their differing backgrounds and the devaluation of hard work. Faced with this stark reality, Amanda took a deep breath. An annual community event was just around the corner. With a mix of fear and determination, she resolved to speak her truth, no matter how raw it felt. The warmth from familiar faces now felt weighed down by a palpable tension. As she stood at the podium, she felt the eyes of the community on her, supportive, yet expectant. Before we continue, Amanda paused, her heart racing as she interjected, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Her voice trembled as she poured her soul out, revealing to the crowd how the material world couldn't overshadow the joy Ethan radiated. With every word, she laid bare the inequities that drive wedges within families. And as her voice echoed, a silence fell like heavy snowfall. But as Amanda stepped down, the weight of her mother-in-law's silence loomed, a dark shadow blanketing her heart. Just then, a softly chimed text notification buzzed in her pocket. It was from her mother-in-law, hinting at hidden truths that remained buried. Amanda's heart raced with frustration and urgency. As she stared at the blinking screen, she knew she stood on the edge of a rocky cliff. Would she find the courage to bridge the divide or get lost in the storm brewing around her? Amanda stood still, staring at the message on her phone. She felt like she was teetering on the edge of a cliff, the ground beneath her uncertain. The words from her mother-in-law glowed on the screen. We need to talk. Meet me at the park after the event. Anxiety clawed at Amanda's insides. Was this a chance for clarity or another round of confrontation? As the children played in the nearby grass, laughter filled the air, contrasting sharply with the tension twisting in her stomach. Ethan, running to and fro, was blissfully unaware of the storm brewing among the adults. His carefree spirit was a balm to Amanda's heavy heart, reminding her of what truly mattered. She took a deep breath, pushing the surreal atmosphere of the family event aside. As soon as she could excuse herself, Amanda headed to the park, her mind racing. What would her mother-in-law say? Would there be anger? Accusations? Or perhaps an unexpected apology. She hoped for understanding, but doubt shadowed every optimistic thought. The park was quieter than usual, the trees whispering secrets as leaves danced under the warm sun. Amanda's heart pounded as she spotted her mother-in-law seated on a bench. Her posture was tense, hands clasped tightly in her lap. Amanda approached cautiously, her heart a mix of hope and dread. "Thank you for coming," her mother-in-law began, her voice softer than usual, as if she were testing the waters. Amanda nodded, unsure of how to respond. "You spoke very passionately today," she continued, looking into Amanda's eyes. "I didn't expect that. I thought our family was stronger than these problems." Amanda swallowed hard. "I thought so too. But I also thought we could face it together. You left Ethan out this time, and that hurt more than I can express." Her mother-in-law sighed, the weight of unspoken words settling between them like a dense fog. "It was never about Ethan or even you," she started slowly, picking her words with care. "It was about me confronting my own insecurities." What Amanda heard next shattered her understanding of her mother-in-law. Through wavering breaths, she learned of a past filled with loss, disappointment, and a fierce desire to uphold an image of success. There was envy in her heart, not of Amanda's family, but of the love and acceptance they radiated. "I wanted to give gifts to those I thought were worthy, to reflect my belief of success," her mother-in-law admitted, tears glistening as the truth unfolded. "I realize now it was misguided, especially towards Ethan." Amanda's heart twisted painfully as she tried to reconcile the woman before her with the one she had grown to resent over the years. All at once, the walls built in silence began to crack. "We just want acceptance, just like you," she replied, vulnerability matching her mother-in-law's raw honesty. Just then, a shrill cry cut through their conversation. The neighbor's dog had darted toward Ethan, startling him. He fell, scraping his knee on the rough pavement. Amanda's heart raced. "Ethan!" she yelled, rushing to him. His tears flowed freely, and the sight of her beloved boy in pain brought everything spiraling back. While tending to Ethan, Amanda's mind whirled with thoughts. Could this moment mark a new beginning? As she soothed her son, she turned to see her mother-in-law's expression changing. There was newfound determination in her eyes, a flicker of hope. But would this transformation last after the day ended? Would the barriers that divided their family finally begin to crumble? Before Amanda could fully process the moment, her mother-in-law approached. "Let us fix this for Ethan," she said softly, determination lining her voice. Amanda held her breath, realizing the next steps they took could either unite them or tear them apart entirely. The day stretched on, but in her heart, Amanda felt a new flicker of anticipation. Could this really be a turning point? The sun dipped low in the sky as they stood together, the weight of the world simmering just beneath the surface. As the shadows grew longer, the true conversation around their family loomed. Larger than ever. Would they manage to bridge the gap? Or would the divisions remain as sharp as they had always been? The answer waited just out of reach, shrouded in uncertainty. Amanda knelt next to Ethan, brushing a strand of hair from his face as she dabbed at his scraped knee with a wet cloth. His little hands quivered as he tried to stop crying, soft whimpers breaking her heart. She planted a kiss on the knee, trying to impart some magic, as if love could mend the hurt. "Look, buddy," she said, smiling through the anxiety swirling inside her. "It's just a little scrape. You're my brave fighter, right? Superheroes like you always bounce back." Ethan sniffed. "Like Iron Man?" "Exactly. Just like Iron Man," she said, ruffling his hair. The comfort of their bond felt like a tenuous thread holding everything together in this moment. Over her shoulder, she saw her mother-in-law still watching, her gaze a mixture of hope and uncertainty. As much as Amanda wanted to believe this was a breakthrough, her stomach twisted. Things had been spoken, but could feelings shift simply like that? After years of misunderstandings, could they really move toward something healthy for Ethan? "Mama," Ethan's small voice pulled her from her thoughts. "Can we go back? I want to show the other kids my new shiny toy." His face brightened at the mention of it, a reminder that children are quick to heal, quick to wrap themselves in happiness. "All right, little man," Amanda said, buoyed by his excitement. "But let me help you walk. No more falls today." They made their way back to the event, Amanda's mind still swinging between caution and yearning. Just as they entered the park again, her mother-in-law called out, "Amanda, wait." Amanda turned, her heart racing anew. "Yes? I need to talk more. Can we meet again later?" The vulnerability etched on her face tugged at Amanda's chest. Sure," Amanda replied, not entirely sure how to navigate these currents of emotion. "Maybe after everyone leaves. We can talk without distractions." "Okay," Amanda replied softly, not knowing whether to hope for something meaningful or brace herself for more friction. As the event fell into its familiar rhythm, Amanda tried to enjoy the clamor around her. Ethan splashed in the fountain, giggling with his cousins, completely wrapped up in his world. Yet beneath the surface, Amanda felt the weight of her mother-in-law's words hanging over them, ready to resurface. After the last guest left, and the sun began to dip below the horizon, colors bleeding across the sky, Amanda met her mother-in-law on the same bench where their earlier confrontation took place. "Thank you for staying," her mother-in-law said, her voice hesitant yet steady. "I'm not sure how much more I can take or how to make this better," Amanda admitted, feeling the familiar sting of tension. Her mother-in-law sighed deeply, trying to hold back the flood of emotions. "I've been selfish not just with Ethan, but with my whole family. It's funny, I senti it. We think we're protecting our loved ones, and instead we end up isolating them." Amanda looked into those once intimidating eyes, now layered with regret. "It's never too late to change," she said, her own heart softened by the sincerity. "But, Amanda, there's one thing I have to tell you. The real reason I gave the gifts. The one that hurt the most, it was about acceptance, not just in our family but in my spirit. I wanted to make amends, but truthfully, I feared rejection, a knot formed in Amanda's throat. What was she about to reveal? The night air felt charged with urgency. Amanda realized this was perhaps their moment, the one that could reshape everything. As the stars began to emerge in the darkening sky, she realized they stood on the edge of something profound. What if the truth she was about to hear opened the floodgates of healing? Or would it plunge them deeper into chaos? "Mom, what do you mean?" Amanda started, her breath catching, but her mother-in-law's expression grew even more complicated. "I need to tell you about something I did for all the wrong reasons," she whispered. Amanda braced herself. What was coming next could change everything. Would the truth ignite a reconciliation? Or was it a bomb waiting to explode? Her mother-in-law's voice trembled, the weight of what she was about to say hanging like a dark cloud. "Years ago, I made a promise to myself that I would never let our family face the same pain I experienced growing up. I thought if I showered my grandchildren with gifts, especially the extravagant ones, they would always know they were loved, that I wouldn't abandon them." Amanda's heart raced. "But you didn't give Ethan a gift? Why would you leave him out?" Her mother-in-law's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "Because I thought he wouldn't want it. I convinced myself that he was only half a grandchild to me because of his mother. My fears kept me blinded. I didn't realize how much that hurt him. And you." Words hung heavily in the air. Amanda could feel the heat of anger rise within her, but the vulnerability spilling from her mother-in-law cut through the tension like a knife. "You didn't think about how he felt? About how you were making me feel?" "I know. I see that now," she pleaded, leaning forward. "I thought I was protecting Ethan by denying him that connection, hoping somehow it would make him stronger. And maybe it was selfish of me. It was only about my own insecurities." Amanda crossed her arms, the reality of the moment battling with her instinct to let go of resentment. "Ethan loves you. We all do. This isn't just about gifts." Her mother-in-law nodded, the enormity of Amanda's words crashing over her. "I understand. I'm asking for forgiveness, but it's also about understanding you. I want to know how to be better for him, for you." The sincerity in her voice melted some of Amanda's tension. This was a glimpse of the woman she both feared and longed to trust. "Then show me. Show us. No more gifts meant for atonement, but real moments, real connections. You're right, her mother-in-law said, wiping away a tear. I need to learn how to be a part of his life. I don't want to hide anymore. I'm tired of the fear, tired of pushing you away. Their honesty stood as a fragile bridge between them. Amanda felt trapped between the past and the future. Could she really believe that change was possible? The afterglow of the sunset painted shadows across the park, stirring a warmth within her heart. Mom, I want to believe we can figure this out, Amanda whispered. But it's going to take time and action. Promises aren't enough anymore. I promise I'll do whatever it takes. Amanda, I just want a chance to make things right, her mother-in-law replied, the sincerity in her voice matching the sincerity in her eyes. Suddenly, the sound of laughter drew their attention. Ethan's cheerful giggle echoed from where he played, blissfully unaware of the heavy emotions shifting around him. Does Ethan know what's going on? Her mother-in-law asked, her voice softening. No, and I don't want him caught in the middle of our storm. But he'll feel if we're better if we're not hiding. As they spoke, the breeze picked up, carrying the scent of blooming flowers from nearby bushes. The air felt charged with something new and unknown possibility. Gazing into her mother-in-law's eyes, Amanda felt a flicker of hope. Maybe their bond could mend, but it would require commitment, tears, and courage to open the door to healing. Then let us make that happen. Together, Amanda said, her voice steadier now. Just as she finished speaking, a rustle from the bushes startled them. A small animal darted out, breaking the moment's focus. What was that? Amanda exclaimed, but before her mother-in-law could reply, the lights of the park flickered, dimming into twilight. For a brief moment, shadows danced around them, as if nature itself was holding its breath. What was that? Her mother-in-law echoed, eyes wide, glancing at the bushes where the rustling had come from. Amanda's heart skipped a beat. Was it a simple creature or something more? I don't know, but maybe it's a sign, she whispered. A sign of change or trouble. As the night deepened, anticipation crackled in the air. What would this moment herald? The night was full of questions, and they were only just beginning to unravel. The evening air felt crisp as shadows lengthened around them, wrapping the park in a blanket of uncertainty. Amanda and her mother-in-law exchanged tentative glances, both aware that they stood at a crossroads. The laughter from Ethan seemed to resonate between them, a reminder of innocence and love amidst the brewing storm. Do you think he senses our tension? Amanda asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her mother-in-law shook her head, a small, sad smile forming. Children can feel a lot more than we give them credit for. He might not understand the details, but he knows when love is genuine. The rustling from the bushes stirred again, and both women instinctively turned their heads, momentarily distracted. A small rabbit hopped into view, its nose twitching nervously as it surveyed its surroundings. Amanda couldn't help but chuckle softly, the tension easing just a bit. Look at that little guy, she said, feeling a sprinkle of joy pierce through the heaviness. It's brave enough to come out, even when everything feels uncertain. Her mother-in-law nodded, her gaze shifting back to Amanda. Then perhaps we need to be like that rabbit. We need to face what's ahead, no matter how scary it might feel. I agree, Amanda replied, her heart warm with understanding. But we can't just leap into it without a plan. We need to start from a place of honesty, real communication. Otherwise, it'll just repeat the cycle. I have so much to learn, her mother-in-law confessed, her voice shaking. I can't change the past, but I want to be there for Ethan now. For you. I want to earn your trust. Amanda looked deep into her mother-in-law's eyes. There was desperation there, but also a flicker of sincerity. Perhaps this was the moment to forge a new beginning. Let us meet regularly. Maybe once a week? We can talk and figure this out together for Ethan's sake. Her mother-in-law's face lit up with a mix of gratitude and relief. I would love that. Thank you, Amanda. I realize this will take time, but I'm willing to put in the effort. The laughter of Ethan drew them back to reality. He was now talking animatedly to a little friend he'd made at the park, his eyes sparkling with joy. Watching him, Amanda felt a rush of protective love swell in her chest. It was paramount that they create a solid foundation for him so he'd never feel the weight of their past mistakes. Just as she opened her mouth to reply, she noticed something behind Ethan. A family mother, father, and their happy little boy was taking pictures. But there was something unsettling about the father. His smile didn't change, even as his eyes flickered toward Amanda's family. It was a fleeting moment, but something in the way he stared left a chill in her spine. "Did you see that guy?" Amanda whispered, pointing discreetly, but her mother-in-law's eyes had already captured the same lingering glance. "I did," she replied, brow furrowed. "Felt strange. Didn't he it?" "Yeah, almost like he was sizing us up. Like he knew something," Amanda replied, feeling an unsettling knot tighten in her stomach. Then, with perfect timing, Ethan dashed over, his laughter fading into concern as he sensed their distraction. "Mom, who are you looking at?" Amanda forced a smile, her heart pounding. "Just some new friends," she said, ruffling his hair. "Nothing to worry about." But that knot in her stomach wouldn't ease. There was a storm on the horizon, and the rustling from the bushes felt far more significant than she initially thought. What was unfolding here, just beneath the surface? As they left the park, the darkness deepened, leaving Amanda with a lingering question in her heart: who was that man? And what did he know about them that could change everything? The walk home felt longer than usual, with each step amplifying Amanda's unease. Ethan chattered away, blissfully unaware of the tension that clung to the air. His innocent words blurred into a hum in Amanda's mind as she replayed the man's unsettling gaze. What did his eyes see? What history did he carry? A burst of laughter from Ethan snapped her back to the present. "Mom, can we get ice cream?" he asked, his eyes sparkling with hope. "Sure, buddy," she replied, but her heart felt heavy. As they walked into the small ice cream shop, the familiar scent of waffle cones mixed with the sweetness of chocolate sprinkles briefly chased away her worries. She watched Ethan bounce from flavor to flavor, his excitement a stark contrast to her swirling thoughts. "Can I get the rainbow sorbet?" he asked, bouncing on his toes like a young pup eager for playtime. "Of course." Amanda smiled, though a part of her remained distant. Perhaps she was overthinking things. Perhaps it was just a man with a curious glance. Maybe. Finally served, they settled at a small table tucked in the corner. As Ethan dug into his sorbet with glee, Amanda hesitated, her spoon hovering over her own dish. She caught sight of her mother-in-law's reflection in the shop's window as she took a seat outside, watching with a tender smile. It felt like a moment where everything could shift. A single look could unveil layers of misunderstanding and hurt, or ignite a bridge to healing. Suddenly, Ethan looked up, ice cream dripping down his chin. "Mom, why are you sad?" Amanda's heart broke slightly. "I'm not sad, sweetie. Just thinking." "About what?" he pressed, his voice earnest. She realized how unfair it was to keep such burdens hidden from him. "About family and how we grow." Ethan tilted his head, confusion bubbling up in his childlike gaze. "Like growing taller? Kind of." She chuckled, wiping away the ice cream that had escaped him. "But it's also about feelings. Sometimes families have to talk and fix things so they can be happy together." His eyes flickered with understanding. Then he asked, "Can you fix things with Grandma?" Amanda's heart sank. "I hope so. I really want us to be a family. What do we need to fix?" Before Amanda could answer, the door to the ice cream shop swung open, and in stepped the very man from the park. Her breath caught, and she gripped the table as discomfort washed over her. He looked around, and for a moment Amanda was certain their eyes locked. Then, he averted his gaze and walked up to the counter, ordering without a hint of recognition. "Mom?" Ethan's voice pulled her back. "Are you okay?" She forced a smile. "Yeah, I'm okay." But everything felt off. Every instinct warned her that this man was connected to something deeper, something that reached into the very fabric of her family. As she tried to shake off the apprehension, her thoughts spiraled. Was she imagining it? Had he seen something from her past that could unravel everything? With her heart drumming in her chest, she watched him leave. A wave of desires mixed with fears crashed over her. What was he really doing here? I'm gonna go ask Grandma about it. Ethan's voice burst through her thoughts, determination gleaming in his eyes. Amanda's heart stopped momentarily. Ethan, wait! But he had already bounded toward the exit, striding confidently into the evening light. She scrambled after him, panic and urgency coiling within her. Just as she reached the door, she saw her mother-in-law smile at Ethan, the warmth of their connection illuminated against the darkening sky. What if the truth Ethan sought was something that could change them forever? Ethan, she shouted, breathless, heartbeat quickening. Don't go just yet. In that instant, she felt the weight of the world shift. Something was coming, something that would challenge them all. A moment of truth was near, and she could not let it be stripped away so easily. What would happen when the real story began to unfold? Ethan ambled over to his grandmother, a blur of energy and innocence, completely oblivious to the storm brewing inside Amanda. Her feet felt heavy as she pushed through the door, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows across the pavement. The familiar chatter of the street felt muffled, overshadowed by the quickening beat of her heart. Grandma! Ethan's voice rang out, bright and full of life. Amanda watched as her mother-in-law knelt down to embrace him, enveloping him in warmth as she brushed a kiss on his forehead. Amanda's stomach churned. She should feel comfort in this scene, but the knot of unease tightened. When she reached them, she hesitated. Should she say something? Demand answers? Instead, she swallowed hard and forced a smile. Hi, Mom, she said, trying to gauge her mother-in-law's reaction. Hi, Amanda. Her mother-in-law's voice was cheerful, but Amanda couldn't ignore the hint of tension that colored her words. Ethan was just telling me about that ice cream shop. He has such great taste. Yep, I got rainbow sorbet. Grandma. Ethan grinned, his mouth still smeared with sticky colors. Sounds delicious, she responded, returning her attention to Amanda. How are you holding up, dear? Amanda felt the gravity of the question. I'm fine, came her automatic reply, but underneath, her mind raced. Holding back feelings? She had become a master at it after all these years. I wanted to talk to you about. She hesitated. The man from the park loomed large in her thoughts, but she needed to tread carefully. About what, honey? Her mother-in-law prompted gently, clearly picking up on Amanda's struggle. About family, Amanda finally admitted, her voice barely a whisper. The older woman's eyes narrowed, brimming with concern. Family is important, Amanda, but sometimes we have to face things we'd rather not. What do you mean? The words burst from Amanda before she could think twice. Like the choices we make about the people we allow in our lives, she said softly, yet a firm edge underlined her statement. And those we distance ourselves from. Ethan's innocent chatter faded into the background as Amanda's heart sank. Was this about the man? Was there more to that single interaction than she understood? Mom, Amanda stopped, clenching her fists. A bead of sweat formed at the nape of her neck. There's something I need to know. Before her mother-in-law could reply, Amanda's eyes darted across the street, searching for that man again. This time, she caught a glimpse of him as he slipped around the corner, his face momentarily illuminated by a nearby store's sign. He seemed to be watching her, and that electrifying stare sent chills down her spine. Who's that man? Amanda's voice cracked, taking both herself and her mother-in-law off guard. What man? Emily asked, puzzled. The man I saw at the park. I think he knows something. A fleeting shadow crossed her mother-in-law's face, her smile faltering. Is he the one you've been worried about? Maybe it's best to let the past stay buried. No, can't just be swept away. This isn't just about me anymore. Amanda pleaded, desperation creeping into her tone. It's about Ethan. He deserves to know the truth. We all do. Before Emily could respond, Ethan piped up cheerfully. Can we go home now? I want to tell Dad about my sorbet. Amanda forced a smile, but inside, the battle raged. Would they be able to bring the truth to light, or was it simply too painful? Sure, she said, her voice steadier than she felt. As they walked back towards home, the air felt thick with unsaid words. Each step echoed with a sense of foreboding. What would happen when she confronted the truth? Would it bring healing or open doors best left closed? In that moment, Amanda made a silent vow. If the world was about to shift, she would be ready to face it head-on. The real question loomed. What secrets lay in wait just beyond the horizon? The weight of unspoken truths hung heavily in the air as they walked home. Ethan, blissfully unaware of the tension, chattered about his day, his laughter bubbling like a brook. Each giggle sliced through Amanda's inner turmoil, drawing her back to moments of joy, yet each sound felt like a reminder of the darkness she was trying to navigate. As they entered the house, the familiar scent of dinner cooking wafted through the air, momentarily distracting Amanda from the dread that had settled deep inside her. Her husband, Jake, was in the kitchen, stirring something in a pot while humming to himself. The sight of him should have brought comfort, yet her heart raced. She couldn't shake the feeling that every moment was leading her closer to a collision of emotions. "Hey guys, how was the ice cream?" Jake asked, looking up with a smile. He always had that spark, that essence of steadfastness that made Amanda fall in love with him all those years ago. But now, standing at the threshold of confrontation, she couldn't help but feel like a stranger in her own home. It was rainbow sorbet. "So yummy," Ethan exclaimed, running over to show his dad. The two shared a moment, bonding over the treat, and Amanda felt a pang of longing. She wanted that lightness again. She glanced at her mother-in-law, whose face had turned serious as she entered the room. Emily had mastered the art of masking her emotions, but Amanda could see the storm behind her eyes. Perhaps this was the crux of the matter, and not just the man at the park. "Emily, can I talk to you for a second?" Amanda said, her voice firm despite the quiver within. This was the moment where the facade had to break. "Sure, dear." Emily's voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed the hint of worry. They stepped into the living room, away from the joyful sounds of the kitchen. Despite the familiar surroundings, the space felt alien. This was where secrets lived, where unspoken words danced in the shadows. Amanda took a deep breath, trying to center herself. "Mom, about the man at the park," she began, but the words tangled in her throat. Emily's eyes softened, but there was a warning behind her gaze. "Some things are better left undiscussed." "Better for whom?" Amanda shot back, feeling the fire ignite inside her. The fear of losing control had gripped her. She had come too far to back down now. "I need to know the truth for Ethan's sake. He deserves that," she insisted, the urgency in her voice surprising even herself. Just then, Ethan burst into the room, eyes wide with excitement, oblivious to the tension. "Mom, Grandma, can I show you the new video game I want?" Amanda's heart softened at the sight of her son, the weight of her mission crashing against the love she felt for him. This was the very reason she couldn't hold back. "Of course, buddy," she managed, her voice lighter, but her resolve did not waver. She turned back to Emily, who appeared conflicted. "Maybe the truth will bring more pain than you realize," Emily said slowly. "Or maybe it will set us free," Amanda retorted, her heart pounding. With each passing second, she felt her future hanging by a thread, poised on the brink of revelation. As Ethan raced back to get his game console, the air thickened with tension. Amanda knew what she had to do. The looming secrets were worming their way into her life, darkening the corners of her family's happiness. As she stood facing her mother-in-law, a quiet defiance blossomed within her. "Emily, I'm going to find out who that man is, whatever it takes," Amanda declared, determination lacing her voice. The walls felt like they were closing in, and with that, Amanda grasped both the weight of her thoughts and the unexpected thrill of truth coursing through her veins. The chase for answers had just begun. What lengths would she go to uncover the past? And would the truth bring them all together or tear them apart? Ethan dashed back into the room, excitedly holding his game console like a trophy. His joy was contagious, and for a fleeting moment, Amanda felt her resolve waver. The laughter and enthusiasm reminded her of carefree days. But the weight on her heart refused to let go. She ran a hand through her hair, trying to gather her strength against the storm brewing within. "Mom, come look," Ethan chirped, his wide eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, completely ignorant of the emotional battle brewing nearby. "I'll be there in just a second, sweetie," Amanda replied, her voice a blend of tenderness and urgency. Emily's expression softened as she watched Ethan, but Amanda noticed the imperceptible tightening of her lips, betraying an internal struggle. The walls of the living room felt alive, echoing secrets past and potential futures. "Please, Emily," Amanda urged, her plea barely above a whisper. "You know more than you're letting on. I can't protect Ethan without the truth." For a long moment, Emily remained silent, the tension so thick it was almost tangible. Amanda felt the minutes slip by, each tick of the clock magnifying her anxiety. This was a battle she couldn't fight alone, but her mother-in-law held the key. "Do you think it would really help?" Emily finally asked, her voice a mere thread. "I have to try," Amanda said, her heart racing. For him, Ethan, oblivious to the weight of his mother's words, skipped around the room, mimicking characters from his game. With each joyful laugh from her son, Amanda's resolve solidified. Every moment of tension and uncertainty mattered because they could shape their future. How could she share laughter with Ethan if their lives were built on silence and lies? Emily's shoulders sagged, tension easing as if she had just set down a heavy burden. "It's complicated, Amanda. Sometimes, love means making hard choices. Believe me when I say, knowing things can change everything. Maybe for the worse, but we deserve the chance to choose what to do with that knowledge." Amanda's breathing quickened. She was on the edge of something monumental. Emily looked away, staring at an old family photo on the wall. The past flickered in her eyes, the smiles, the laughter imprinted in those frames. It slightly cracked the facade she wore so artistically. "The man you saw at the park, he's not just any stranger." A chill ran down Amanda's spine. Her heart raced, brimming with questions she dared not speak aloud. "What do you mean?" Emily took a deep breath, and Amanda swore she could hear the echoes of hesitation swirling in the air. Finally, Emily met her gaze. "He is part of our family. Or at least he was." "What does that mean?" Amanda pressed, uncertainty tightening around her throat like a vice. "I can't explain everything now," Emily said softly, "but you have a right to know. Just be prepared for what you're about to discover." Ethan, still preoccupied, reenacted a battle scene for the umpteenth time, unaware that the topics swirling around him had been dealt with in the trenches of adult life long before he ever entered the world. "I'll be ready," Amanda promised, her voice steady. "I need to understand. Ethan deserves that, and so do we." As the weight of Emily's words settled between them, Amanda felt the storm within her grow fierce, a mixture of fear and anticipation. Emily was opening the door to a world of hurt, but also a chance for liberation. Would they be strong enough to weather that storm together? Just then, the sound of laughter echoed on the air, but this time it didn't solely belong to Ethan. Amanda chuckled softly, her heart buoyed by the spirit of resilience surrounding her. Yet, deep in her gut, she knew that whatever lay ahead might just change everything forever. She turned to Emily, the question hanging heavily between them. "Are we really ready for this?" Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance, a wild omen to the chaos nothing could contain. The path to the truth was set before them, and as the darkness gathered, so did the light of things yet uncovered. Little did they know discovery was merely a heartbeat away. The next morning brought a fresh sense of urgency. Amanda woke up, her heart racing with a mixture of anticipation and dread. Today would be the day that everything changed. She felt a weight deep inside her, but with it, a large flicker of hope glimmering through the darkness. She had to uncover the truth not just for herself but for Ethan and her mother-in-law too. Ethan bounded into the kitchen, completely blissful, the sun casting golden rays that danced around his joyful frame. "Mom, can we go to the park today?" His eyes sparkled with excitement, and Amanda's heart flipped. Could a simple park trip lead to deeper family connections today? Or would the darkness cloud over their fragile peace? "Sure, buddy. Let us make it a special day, okay?" she replied, trying to hide her trepidation. She knew this day was crucial not only for family bonding but also for acknowledging the hidden fears and truths that curled around them like vines. After breakfast, Amanda gathered Ethan and her mother-in-law as they made their way to the park. The gentle breeze felt refreshing against her skin, but the potential heaviness of their conversation loomed like an overcast sky. "Do you think it would be fun to play some games at the park?" Amanda suggested, trying to ease the tension layered between her and Emily. Ethan cheered, his little feet racing ahead as he imagined all the fun to come. Emily gave Amanda a sidelong glance, her face softened by the warmth of sunlight, yet the worry in her eyes mirrored Amanda's own. "Are you ready to talk today?" Amanda asked quietly as they strolled, the crisp grass underfoot grounding her in the moment. "We'll see," Emily replied, an edge of uncertainty breaking through her composed exterior. Upon arriving at the park, Ethan dashed toward the playground, laughing and yelling out to friends who had gathered. Their joy splintered the weight of their silence, but Amanda felt the impending conversation like a clock ticking down. With a tentative exhale, Amanda turned to her mother-in-law. "Let us find a quiet spot." They wandered to a shaded bench, distant yet within earshot of Ethan's laughter. Amanda took a deep breath, feeling the lightness of the afternoon breeze against her. Today could be the turning point. "Mom," she started, hesitation hitching in her throat. "About the man and what you said yesterday." Emily's eyes widened as she raised her hands slightly. "I know this is hard, but it's not just about me anymore. It's about Ethan too." Amanda pressed on, urgency bubbling within her. "I need to know what he means to us." Emily inhaled deeply and closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering strength from within. "His name is Richard. He was your father's brother, my husband's brother." The revelation hit Amanda like a freight train. "But I thought he was gone. I thought you didn't speak about him anymore. I didn't want the shadows of the past to haunt our family. Our life was difficult after his death," Emily said, regret etched on her face. "But Richard is part of who we are. I thought you deserved to live without that burden." Amanda swallowed the swell of emotions threatening to spill over. "But it's not just about what you wanted. It's about the choices we all must bear. Ethan has a right to know his family." "I thought I was protecting you both," Emily replied, raw honesty reflected in her eyes. "I was selfish." As the truth hung heavily in the air, the laughter of the children echoed warmly. Amanda felt the tension slowly bubbling into something constructive, something they could use to navigate the path forward. "Do you think he knows about us?" Amanda questioned, a knot forming in her stomach at the thought of the unknown. "I don't know," Emily admitted, her voice trembling. "But I do believe if we face this together, we can find out. Both for Ethan and for ourselves." The moment settled between them, warm yet filled with uncertainty. A breeze rustled the leaves overhead as Amanda locked eyes with Emily and saw not just a mother-in-law, but a woman grappling with her own past, a past that had inadvertently affected the generations that followed. "Let us reach out to him," Amanda said slowly, hope cresting her voice. "Open a door we can meet and talk. No more hiding, just truth." Emily nodded, her eyes brimming with tears, the vulnerability of their conversation coursing through them. "For Ethan and for us." As they shared a warm embrace, something shifted. The burdens they had carried began to lighten. They were ready to face the unknown together. Ethan soon ran over, his arms open wide with excitement as he dove towards them. "What is happening, guys? Can we play now?" "Of course." Amanda laughed, embracing her son as they resumed the joy of their day, yet everything felt different. Today they were no longer shrouded in secrets. They were family, full of love and hope, facing the future together. And as they played under the golden sun, Amanda felt an overwhelming sense of relief. They were taking the first steps toward rediscovering their bonds, making room for real moments, honest moments, the kind that stitched together hearts. Later, as the sun dipped low in the sky, Amanda reflected on how life had shifted from shadows to light. The journey had just begun, but they stood ready to embrace whatever came next. And as she looked at her family, that transformation from pain to hope felt more powerful than any gift that could have ever been given. Now is the moment where you step into action. You need to subscribe to this channel immediately to not miss the next transformative stories. Don't wait not even one more second to leave a like now and help fuel the algorithm. Your support matters so much. Tell me in the comments what you're feeling about this ending. And don't forget to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible transformation.